Stonehorns are massive beasts of muscle and violence, each several times the size of a rhinox, and, if it can be believed, several times as dense. Intelligence is of little import to these great beasts, however, for each Stonehorn is quite literally a living fossil, its skeleton hardened by the same rock as the mountains where it makes its home. As legendary as their hardiness is their belligerence, in fact it is said that a Stonehorn will take any opportunity to headbutt something to death and trample its corpse into paste. Such is its colossal mass that the impact of its charge is like a boulder plummeting from a mountaintop, a deadly combination of weight, momentum, and bad temper. A Stonehorn in a destructive rage is the kind of sight that causes ogres to gape in slack-jawed wonderment, for it is a display of raw, unthinking strength. It is common in ogre camps to hear odd tales of Stonehorns shattering cliffsides or battering down mountain peaks, and these are not exaggerations but everyday occurrences. Stonehorns live by mining rock, breaking off suitable chunks by smashing their impressively horned heads into the largest rock facings they can find. Deposits of precious stone and seams of rare metal are favoured, but the creature will also use its iron-hard molars to crunch up mundane rubble or any mammals caught out of their dens. Yet, as impressive as such feats are, they are pale before the sight of a Stonehorn in combat. Intolerant to an extreme, a Stonehorn's first inclination is to charge any creature that comes within view. This is no mere bluff or half-hearted measure to scare off any who draw near, but instead a full-tilt attempt to use its horn and bulk to pulverize anything in its way. Few can bear the brunt of such a collision. The Stonehorn can smash mountains asunder, so what hope does a creature of flesh and blood have to stand before such a beast? After impact, the great beast will rear up on its thick haunches to deliver crushing blows with its forelimbs, hammer blows that can crack a glacier or smash stone to powder. With growing fury, a Stonehorn will swing its horns in sweeping arcs, seeking to slice foes with the surprisingly sharp ridges that form on its stone prongs. Naturally, ogres have the greatest respect for Stonehorns, for the mammoth creatures are everything an ogre aspires to be: big, violent, strong, and rock hard. They never tire of telling and retelling their favourite accounts of a Stonehorn's prowess, or of the gory aftermath they leave after one of their stone-cracking charges. Whether it is the wide trails of dwarfs flattened and squished out of their armor, the wet crunching sounds a Stonehorn makes when ploughing through skaven hordes, or fond remembrances of giants pile-driven into the ground, such blood-drenched tales are greedily called for and laughed about at any raucous ogre feast. In their constant quest to headbutt things, Stonehorns often scrape skin, tendon and meat from their faces, leaving bare patches or glimpses of a skull-like stone mask. Over their long lives, Stonehorns become more like the mountains upon which they graze in a slow process of petrification. That's not the only effect of a Stonehorn's unnatural diet, for their bodies are dotted with mineral deposits the way freckles appear on humans, and the skull of an elder beast can house enough gems to make a merchant prince weep. Getting hold of those riches is difficult. Only a fool comes within sniffing distance of a live Stonehorn. And those that die of natural causes are secretive, plodding off to hidden vales before fully transforming to stone. Those that stumble across such hidden grounds are struck by the eeriness of silent statues. An ogre hunter who has tamed a Stonehorn is a celebrated individual. Stonehorns are oblivious to the most grievous wounds, and the only proven way to break one is to take one of its eyes, which is no mean feat given this beast's stone-armored skull. To achieve this, a hunter must stand in the path of a Stonehorn charge, and, as the ground shakes, stick a spear or land a harpoon in its eye socket. Those who miss seldom live to tell the tale, but those lucky enough to make the shot will be confronted with a rare sight indeed, that of a Stonehorn halting mid-charge as it registers pain for perhaps the first time in its long life. The hunter can then lead the Stonehorn back to its cave by yanking upon the embedded shaft. After a time, the wounds heal, often the eye even grows back, but by then the Stonehorn has been persuaded to allow a rider. A hunter might keep such a beast as his own mount, or if he wishes to boost his reputation, he could gift the beast to a tribe, for Stonehorns are much coveted by all right-thinking ogres. So this is the lore directly from the 8th edition army book for the Ogre Kingdoms, all about the Stonehorn. Now, normally I wouldn't go about doing these unit spotlights, they kinda bore me, but the reason why I've been covering them lately, or even just reading directly from an army book, is because Creative Assembly spotlights have been super weird. They don't include actual lore anymore, and it's a shame because some of the stuff that makes it into a spotlight is really impressive, such as the lore behind these Stonehorns. This is an incredibly massive beast, and it's a shame that they just do the whole smoke and mirrors type of stuff for the spotlights. It's kind of boring, and it doesn't really give you much, barring some great shots admittedly, but you don't really learn about this beast. Unfortunately, I've not been able to write my own script for this as I am traveling around at the moment, so this is the best I could do, but I wanted you guys to know about this monster because I've always been really excited about them. I know a few other people have, and for those who don't know about the Ogre Kingdom's lore, this is generally quite important. This is a very impressive monster, and on the tabletop it was quite destructive. It could even negate multiple wounds by halving that of multiple wounds. This meant that it would stay on the battlefield for far longer and be able to do far more damage. Believe me, you did not want to get charged by one of these things on the tabletop. There is a little bit more lore here in the army book centered around the Granite Tooth Graveyard, and that is an ancient Stonehorn burial ground, so let's read this over before we end today's video. Of all of the Stonehorn burial grounds scattered around the Mountains of Mourn, the largest and most sought after is the Granite Tooth Graveyard. Here, the chill wind gusts around hundreds of petrified Stonehorns, their statue-still bodies covered in thick layers of ice and snow. In the shadows of these great beasts, sheltered from the worst of the flesh-biting storms, can be found the littered bones of countless adventurers who foolishly sought their fortune in these treacherous lands. Beside the skeletons of men lie those of dwarves who believed that the hearts of Stonehorns transformed into giant blood diamonds upon their deaths, and Skaven who heard tales that the fearsome beast turned into solid warpstone. It is perhaps unsurprising that so many expeditions have ended in disaster, for in the blizzard-like conditions that eventually engulf the Granite Tooth Graveyard, it is extremely difficult to tell difference between a dead Stonehorn, whose form long ago turned into stone and precious gems, and a dying beast whose body is still undergoing the final stages of petrification. These ancient Stonehorns stand virtually motionless amidst the forest of their deceased kin, their frost-covered forms indistinguishable from great statues. However, when mining tools and pickaxes bite into their rocky skin and chip away gemstones, fossilized eyelids suddenly crack open, a sound that is almost imperceptible in the howling winds, and the only warning that the treasure seekers have just made the biggest mistake of their lives. But with that, my friends, we've come to the end of our video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, might I suggest giving the video a like, or even subscribing to the channel, as it really does help us out. In the description section below are various links to different social media platforms such as Facebook, Instagram, and Discord. Also in the description section is an affiliate link with Element Games where you could buy loads of hobby-based products, not just Warhammer, for 10 to 25% off. Making a purchase using that link and also our special code, which is also in the description, supports the channel at no extra cost to you, which we think is rather cool. A big thank you to our patrons. Your support means the world to us. It's amazing that people want to help a small channel like us grow and get to a higher level of content. A big thank you to Gibraltar LUSC, Ryan Bertsche, Andrew Prince, and Ogres for subscribing to us at our Fane level. You guys are super cool. And a big thank you to Edward Yule, VS Vasan, Aaron Whitman, and Shaggy for subscribing to us at our King level. Honestly, we can't thank you all enough. And lastly, a big thank you to all of you for liking, sharing, and commenting on these videos. Honestly, it's because of you guys that the channel's been growing at such a great pace lately, so we can't thank you all enough. But with that, my friends, thank you so much for watching once again, and we shall see you all again very, very soon. Have a good day.